amigos? Can I get an amen? Now, how about a hallelujah? Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Ahora sí, time for liftoff. Let's go.
8,
7,
6,
5, 4. Come on, do it with me.
2, 1, 0. Ignition.
Come on.
Liftoff.
Get on up there.
Liftoff.
Get up. Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. And get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time. On Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name. Let's go. Come on. Get pumped, amigos. Get psyched. Get stoked. Say it however you want. But we are ready to rock and roll for the next 2 hours. I am going to take you on an English journey, an interactive extravaganza, where we're going to learn from music, movies, and everything around us. Why not? That's how we learned. That's how a native speaker learns. Right? When we're kids, what are we doing? Paying attention to everything. What did he say? How did he say it? What was the context? I mean, we don't realize it, but we're paying attention to everything. And I can tell you, kids are definitely paying attention to everything. Even when you think they're not paying attention, they are listening carefully. I know it from my daughter. She's always listening. Not to me. Not in the sense of haciéndome caso. There's two different uses of listening. She listens in on my conversations. She's listening to what I'm saying. But then when I tell her, honey, come on, we've got to brush our teeth, she doesn't listen. Oh, she's 5. We're working on it. Estamos en ello. You know, sometimes I realize too, she's 5, dude. Little by little, be patient. You got to be demanding with your kids, but not too demanding. You got to be strict, but not too strict, right? You got to be loving, but not too loving. See, I can't get on board there. There's no such thing as too much love. No way, Jose.
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right, folks. Our master's program. For those of you who really want to master, dominar the English language, there's nothing like our master's program. And I know it not just from a student perspective, because I know many students who have done the master's program, but also from a teacher's perspective. I know for a fact that, all our teachers are great. But we need the cream of the crop for the master's program, right? The most organized teachers, the ones who are really not strict, but, they correct every little mistake. So let's put it this way, the most demanding, que estamos hablando de la palabra exigente, antes. Careful, it's a false friend. Because you say demandar, right? To sue. Te voy a demandar, right? But we say demanding as you always want more. Now, I've got to tell you something. The word exigent exists in English. But 9 times out of 10, probably even 10 times, you'll say, wow, she's very demanding. But what do you want? I mean, if you want to master something, you've got to be demanding on yourself. So check it out. It is the Vaughn Masters. You can do evenings, you can do weekends, or you can do full time. It's going to totally and completely depend on your schedule, your budget, your time constraints, right? Time constraints. It's the way we say our time limitations. So, and guess what? Maybe you're thinking, wow, the Masters, I wish. I just don't have enough time, or I don't have the cash right now. No tengo los fondos. Don't worry. We've got a lot of other materials out there that will help you master the language, that are not the Masters program, but they will help you master the language, right? And if you do that, you listen to Vaughn Radio, well, I mean, there's only one way to go but up. And today we're going to actually take a look at a material that, okay, maybe you're like, I can't take the Masters program right now, but you can take a master class. And that master class is in Inglés Gramática Fácil. Now, this is, I think, one of the backbones of the language, of the method, excuse me. Well, the language too. But this is 180 lessons. 180. So you will know at least 180 new things or review key concepts that you already knew, and it's all for $15.75. It's under 16 euros. You can get it at the Vaughn Tienda. It's Inglés Gramática Fácil. And does it come with audio? Of course it does. And we're going to listen to that audio in today's Pop Quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. All right, folks. So that's your pop quiz coming at you. As always, we start out with something from the Vaughn Tienda. And, you know, it's a perfect opportunity for me to use content that isn't my own, so to speak. Of course, I make it my own and I teach it in my own way. But also, you know, it gives me an opportunity to show you guys all the different materials we have in our arsenal. And remember, if you're looking for materials, it's vaughntienda.com, and you can get a plethora of different materials. I myself have 5 books at Vaughn Tienda, and I've participated in another 20, 25 books throughout the years. Well, I lost count. A lot of materials you'll hear. In fact, a lot of times here on the show, right? I play an audio and I'm like, oh, wait, that's me. And of course, I don't remember doing it. It was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. All right, well, folks, this is a little excerpt from Gramática Fácil. And, well, today we're going to look at the passive voice. So we're going to brush up on, quitarle el polvo, we're going to brush up on the passive voice. Listen up And as you know, you can expect some challenges afterwards. This is Gramática Fácil in Inglés. It's available at vontienda.com.
Day 55. Pasatiempo.
Do you know when they'll have finished writing the report?
I talked to Clementine, the person in charge, and she says they'll have processed it by the 15th.
The 15th. We need it done by the 10th.
I know, but there's nothing we can do.
I don't believe that. Do you have her number?
Look, the more you pressure her, the longer we'll have to wait.
No, don't worry. I'll be very nice. I'll just tell her that we have an emergency and that the sooner we get the license, the better.
Feel free to call her, but I can promise you, no matter how nice you are to her, she won't do it.
Wait, did you say Clementine earlier?
Yes? Why?
Do you happen to know what her full name is?
Yes, I think it's Clementine Louise Shaw. Why?
Do you know where her office is?
It's on the 2nd floor. Oh, come on. I know what you're thinking. Don't go to her office. It's a bad idea. Trust me, the less you bother her, the faster she'll do it.
We'll see. Talk to you in 10 minutes.
Day 39. The passive voice. Review. Listening challenge. 3 people have been informed of the issue. The goods will be delivered at our warehouse. The company hasn't been sold yet because of legal issues. A lot of progress has been made.
Day 37. To have something done. Listening challenge. We'll have the trip arranged by another agency. I can't do it, I'll have it arranged by the agency. They have the trip arranged by an agency. They've had the trip arranged by their assistant. He had everything arranged by his assistant. The agency had it arranged by a subcontractor. We didn't organize it, we had it arranged. They had the papers prepared by the lawyer.
Hey, Daddy, when's the next trivia night?
It's Tuesday, June 3rd at 8 p.m.
Who's hosting?
Me
Oh, great. Where is it again?
at the Toast Tap Room.
Cool, see you there.
Awesome. Pues ahí lo tenéis, familia. Nos vemos el 3 de junio a las 8 in Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. That's right, folks. Well, my daughter just gave you all the information there. And what a good sport. A good sport. Se enrolla, se presta a todo. That's my daughter. I said to her yesterday, I go, honey, can you help me make a radio ad for the trivia night? And she said, yeah, sure. And there's the result. Ladies and gentlemen, my daughter's excited. My wife's excited. My friends at Vaughn Radio are excited because we have a group. We have a Vaughn Radio group, a WhatsApp group, and we're all really pumped. We're really psyched for the upcoming trivia night. As I said, as we said in the audio, June 3rd, 8 p.m., the place is the Toast Tap Room. If you've never come before, make this your first time. If you've come a million times, if you've been there like us religiously almost every, I miss some months, but I try to go every month. And well, it's always fun. It's always different, but you always have fun. And as I said, my theme, because sometimes we have themes, if it's Halloween, if it's Christmas, if it's, and I decided my theme this time is going to be your inner child. So get ready to go back down memory lane because we're going to be looking at, things from the past, things of yesteryear, things from Disney, cartoons, all of that stuff that we kind of all grew up with. Doesn't matter where you grew up. You grew up with these things, these institutions. Now, I haven't prepared the questions yet, but I've got a general idea of what direction I want to go in. And we're going to have a blast. So bring the family, bring your friends. You will not regret it. And the only thing that's going to happen In fact, what usually happens is as soon as the event is over, you know what people say? They say, when's the next one? Like I gotta jot it down in my calendar. I gotta mark my calendar because I don't want to miss it. So don't miss it, guys. You still have time. It's June 3rd. It's at 8 p.m. Also, mark your calendars for the 31st. The 31st of May, which is just a couple days before that. And I will be at the book fair at Feria del Libro. It's Saturday, May 31st. I'll get there at 11 a.m. Well, knowing me, I'll get there at 10:45. That's the American in me. Although I have class that morning too. Well, I'll get there. I'll still get there ahead of time. So I'll see you from 11 to 1, and that is at stand 309. Puesto 309. Stand 309. And I hope to see you all there. 2 appearances, 2 events that we've got coming up. And remember, if you can't make it to the book fair on the 31st, no sweat. No te preocupes. We'll be there for the following 3 weeks. So it's a 3-week thing. If you want more information on when your favorite teachers are signing, because I'll only be there that day. So if you can't come on the 31st, I'll see you at the trivia night, right? A couple days later. And but if you still want to go to the book fair, remember, almost every weekend, our stand is full of authors, teachers, Vaughn radio presenters who are eager, con muchas ganas, who are eager, the word Elena used yesterday, to meet you. Yeah, absolutely. So join us for those 2 upcoming events. Also, folks, we've got the question of the week. Now, right now, there are only 2 people who have participated, and we're going to look at it tomorrow. So, firstly, a nice round of applause for Chris Valrol and Nuria. And secondly, if we only have 2 or 3 people participating, we're going to discontinue the section. So that's completely in your hands, folks, because the idea is usually what we usually have, anywhere from 6 to 9. Usually there are around 6 to 9 different people who participate regularly, right? So let's say 6 or 7. And this week, let's put it this way, another way of putting it. Usually by this time, I have at least 5 or 6 participations. I only have 2. So no big deal. No pasa nada. But if the section's not working, we'll stop doing it. It's that simple. I just thought it was a good idea to get you guys speaking, because if there's one thing I've noticed in 20 years, that's the one thing the students lack: opportunities to put into practice everything they're learning. And I thought I was giving you that with the question of the week. But as I said, if we only have 2 or 3 people participating, we'll move on. We'll, hey, it's not the first section that hasn't worked. I thought it was working, but I judge everything by the participation of the group. So if I see nobody's participating, or it's, I don't see a lot of comments around it, I'll discontinue it. And I've done that. There are many sections that have been on this show that are no longer on this show that I've tried out. And sure, in my head, I'm like, what a great idea. And then I bring it to the show and people are like, okay, all right. So you never know. This is part of being somebody who's creative in the creative world. You have a million ideas. It doesn't mean everybody's going to like your ideas. But I thought it was an ideal opportunity for you guys to religiously, as we used the word before, practice your English speaking. Okay, so again, you will be the final judge. It's your call, right? We've looked at the expression. We looked at it last week, I believe, was it? It's your call, tu decisión. So if you'd like to participate, send me a voice note around a minute. Keep it at around a minute. You should be able to tell me your favorite animal in less than a minute, and send it to my email address, aalonso@grupovon.com. So we're definitely going to do it this week. But if it's only these 2 ladies who have participated, then the following week we'll discontinue it. All right. So again, I won't make the decision. It's your call para decirlo de forma totally native. And this week, you have to tell us your favorite exotic animal. Do you have a favorite exotic animal? Tell us what it is. And of course, the most important part every week, defend your answer, right? Don't just say, I love zebras. Okay, well, why? Well, because the British call them zebras and you call them zebras. Yo que sé. Again, you've got to defend your point of view, your opinion, your take, to put it in a totally native way. All right, now let's take a look at our challenges here in our pop quiz today. I'm going to give you free range today, carte blanche. Okay? The first one, I want you to use the tense we heard, the future perfect tense. Okay? Now, what is the future perfect tense? Well, this is a tense that is used to describe an action that will be completed before a specific time in the future. So, do you want me to be honest with you? I'm not even quite sure how to use this complicated tense in Spanish. But this isn't Spanish class. This is English class. So think about that. Something that casi uso la estructura. Something that will be completed by you, para usar otro tiempo que vamos a ver, that will be completed by you in the future before a certain time. Okay? So I think about it. Mira, en este momento el año que viene, ya habría graduado. I don't know if that, don't quote me on the Spanish there. Okay? So the first one, use the future perfect tense. Okay? Show me that you know how to use it. All right? And of course, we'll take a look at it more in detail. The second one, the passive voice. Show me that you know how to use the passive voice. Use whatever example you want. In fact, I love when we do that because we get a lot of interesting answers and perspectives. So the second one, use the passive voice in English. And, another, you know what I call it too? The documentary tense. El tiempo verbal documental. And the last one, and I know we've looked at these a lot here, I want you to use an indirect question. Okay? So not what time is it, pero ¿sabes qué hora es? Me podría decir. And why do we use indirect questions? Do you want to be polite or not? I mean, especially if you're asking somebody for something, I would be as polite as possible, right? So you can say, what time is it? I would never in a million years go up to somebody and say, what time is it? Ever. In fact, it seems almost rude, right? Where is it? Right? Where's the metro? Even if I don't say it in that tone, where's the metro? You start with, excuse me, sir, could you please tell me, do you know? Right? So again, you have to know this speech in order to be polite, right? These indirect questions, and also to talk about it. Él me preguntó a qué hora terminaba. A qué hora terminaba ahí no es una pregunta. Es lo que él te preguntó. So ahí no coge la misma estructura que una pregunta. I know we have looked at these a lot. Okay, so you shouldn't have any trouble with 3. I have to be honest, number 1, as far as I can recall, I don't think we've looked at the future perfect tense a lot on this show. But don't worry, that's perfect because we're going to look at it today. It's perfect. Okay. Bad joke. Really bad joke. So future perfect tense is number 1. Use it in context. Use it in your context. Number 2, use the passive voice. Again, a simple sentence, but make it your own. Make it something you would actually say. No? And the last one, an indirect question. I think, again, think of a question you would actually ask someone in London or in New York next time you're there. And this way, we're giving it a certain practicality, which is, I think that's missing in a lot of cases. You know, like, think about this. The most famous sentence I have heard in Spain is, my tailor is rich and my mother's in the kitchen. Am I right or am I right? Fijaos como he preguntado ahí. I'm right. I know. My mother is rich. My tailor's in the kitchen. Just one question then. When the fuck When on God's earth are you going to use that? Exactly. There's no, why? Why don't you teach people where's the lost and found? O mejor, con una pregunta indirecta. ¿Me podría decir usted dónde está objetos perdidos? So we'll take a look at that and much more in the second part of today's show. Wow, folks, we got a lot of stuff to cover. So when we come back, we are going to put the pedal to the metal. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome to part 2. That's right, this is part 2 of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. I see so many people joining us here. It's great to have you all on board and ready to rock for another exciting show. And don't forget to listen to all the other amazing programs here on Vaughn Radio. Programs such as the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams. Don't forget about, I was going to say the Lunchtime Show, but it's another one with Rob Grams and Andrea Vaughn. You got a double dose of Rob. Awesome. Great stuff. You've also got Fitz with No Excuses. You've got Dave Boys and The Salad. Richard Vaughn Live, Chris Frank and Frankly Speaking, Kyle Miller and Drive Time. So many shows, all designed to get you excited about English, to get you hooked on English, to make learning fun. So it doesn't seem like a chore. A chore es un deber. Hey, we looked at chores yesterday, right? We were looking at household chores. All right, well, folks, let's kick off with today's Say What soundbite. Say what? Come on, what? Yes. All right, folks. Well, as you know, you're going to hear a famous person speaking now. Short clip. Usually they last about 15 to 20 seconds, these sound bites. But I want you to extract everything you can from it. So your first goal is to see how much you understand, and then how much you can relay back to me. And your second goal is to relay it back to me perfectly. Some days it's harder, some days it's easier. I think today you shouldn't have too much difficulty with it. We've had harder ones, let's put it that way. Hemos tenido muchos más. I think on a scale of 1 to 10, As far as easy is 1, difficult is 10. I'm going to give this a 2 or a 3. So I expect a lot of participation here in today's Say What soundbite. Is everybody ready? Here it is for the first time.
Hard. A lot of my friends tell me that when they give me a compliment, I just skip over it. I don't know. I've had a hard time to take them in. And I think it's one of the reasons why I felt like I always wanted to stay down on the ground. I never wanted to believe in the hype.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The person sounds exactly like me, doesn't she? Not at all. It doesn't even sound like, if you listen to, or if you look at our mouths when we speak, this woman and me, not too many similarities. But that's the beautiful thing about English. English is spoken on every continent, right? Almost every continent. And even if it's not a majority, it's a widely spoken language, just like Spanish, by the way. All right, here it is for the second time.
Hard. A lot of my friends tell me that when they give me a compliment, I just skip over it. I don't know. I've had a hard time to take them in. And I think it's one of the reasons why I felt like I always wanted to stay down on the ground. I never wanted to believe in the hype.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit.
That's right, folks. And now you can pick it up at the upcoming book fair, Feria del Libro. We'll see you guys at stand 309. If you need additional information, you can follow us on social media. I'm sure the marketing team is already posting information. In fact, I saw they had a map and they marked where our stand is because, well, Retiro is not necessarily a small park. All right, if you compare it to Central Park, it is. But it couldn't take 30, 40 minutes to cross the park, depending. Obviously, if you're walking fast. But if you're walking with a 5-year-old, it can take 2 hours. Parents, do you hear me? Oh, man. I always say Google needs to have an added one. So you've got by public transport, by car, You got walking, and you should have walking with a 5-year-old. And that should add another hour to every hour. It doubles the time, basically. It's true. I'm not making this stuff up. No me lo estoy inventando. All right, now I see we've got a lot of people participating, and we're going to check your answers momentarily. So really quickly, what is the future perfect tense? We already said when you use it to talk about completing something before a date in the future, right? You're kind of looking ahead. It's a tense where you're looking ahead and saying, para este momento en el año que viene, habré perdido tantos kilos. You know, again, I don't know if I'm using it correctly in Spanish because it's not necessarily an easy tense. I think in either language. So in English, I think, though, the structure is quite easy as long as you know your participle, right? So you use will have plus the participle, la tercera columna. So I will have explained this by the end of the show today. No, lo habré, again, no te fíes de mi español, right? Some other examples. By next year, I will have finished my degree. So will have más participio, right? Eaten, taken, esa, la tercera columna. They will have arrived by the time you leave. Okay, another one. She will have studied for several hours by then. All right, these are, we're going to take a look at your examples, but just so you hear it all together. Will have plus the participle. All right, and the passive voice? Well, the passive voice is basically, as I call it, the documentary tense. And when do we use the passive voice? Well, first, let's look at how. Subject. So the subject, starting with the subject, this is the basic passive voice structure. The plus the form of to be, whichever one corresponds, plus the participle. Okay, so the perfect example. Columbus discovered America. That's direct speech. Sujeto hizo esto. Okay, and the complement at the end. But you would say here the subject first. So America was discovered, ahí está el was, the form of to be, by, no, discovered, que es el participio. O sea, en ambos casos, estamos empleando el participio. So it's really important to know your three columns. Take, took, taken, eat, ate, eaten. No me lo sé ni yo. Bueno, hablándolo así, nadie. Nosotros no lo aprendemos así. We just learn spoken cuando decimos esta estructura. So, and then when you want to put quién, you would put by. So, America was discovered by Columbus. Okay? Let's see a couple examples. The chef cooked dinner. Can you put it in the passive voice? Dinner was cooked by the chef. All right. They will finish the project. The project, no project, no se dice project. Say it with me. Oigo esta palabra mal pronunciada miles de veces. Project, project. They will finish the project. Put it in the passive voice. The project will be finished by them. Okay? Here's another one. She writes poems. Ella escribe poemas. Poems are written by her. When do we use it? Again, when it's not important who did it. When it's more formal speech. Again, you don't want to overuse this tense because then people say, why is he always talking like documentary style? So this is used, poetically. It's used figuratively, like the glass was broken by your friend over here, right? But if you walked around always using that tense, people would look at you weird. Okay, another one, last one, and then we'll look at a couple indirect questions and we'll look at your answers. Someone stole my bike. Okay? Someone stole my bike. Put it in the passive voice. My bike was stolen by someone. My bike was stolen by someone. And that's the passive voice. And then we've got indirect questions. And if you know how to form the affirmative in any structure, then you know how to form the indirect question. So, what time is it? La pregunta directa. Siempre uso este ejemplo porque es más fácil imposible. Todo el mundo sabe qué hora es, right? What time is it? Que nunca preguntarías a alguien sin confianza, ¿qué hora es? You would say, ¿podría decirme? So this is why we're looking at this here. What time is it? No, is it? Is it? What time is it? Okay. It's 12 o'clock. Pues it is, esa es la estructura de la afirmación. So, here we go. Vamos a poner, yo te doy la pregunta directa, tú me das la indirecta. Okay, what time is it? Do you know? Could you tell me what time it is? It is 12 o'clock. O sea, es un espejo de la afirmación. All right. Where's he from? ¿De dónde es él? Do you know where he's from? ¿Ves? El otro es is he, pues este es he is. Lo contraemos para un habla más natural. Do you know where he's from? Me como la H porque soy nativo. Eso ya, como quieras. Yo te lo digo como yo lo hago. Do you know where he's from? Yeah. No, I don't know where he's from. ¿Ves? Ahí sigue sin ser pregunta. La respuesta. No, I don't know. O sea, poniendo I don't know delante, or I'm not sure, también lo hace indirecta. When the question is not a question, let's put it that way. When the question is not really a question, or the question comes before it. Do you know what time it is? Because the do you know part there is the question. All right, so I know it can be a bit confusing because you don't have this. In Spanish, ¿qué hora es? ¿Sabes qué hora es? ¿De dónde es él? ¿Sabes de dónde es él? So there's no change. But in English, there is. All right, so these are some key grammar concepts. You can find them all in Inglés Gramática Fácil. It's available at Von Tienda. In fact, let me give you the link here in case you're interested. Again, it's got 180. That's a lot of lessons. 180 lessons. Around 4 hours of audio. And you can get it for like, more than you. A menú del día, okay, a price fixed menu will cost you more than this material. Yeah, well, I remember when they used to be 9 or 10 euros and now they're like 14, 18, 22. I'm like, whoa, what happened here? So I don't, needless to say, no hay que decirlo, I rarely eat out. Rara vez, como fuera ya. I'm getting old. My stomach and my wallet don't like it. Both. Because everything's salty and greasy, and I like to cook. I just need time, obviously, to do it. But for less than a menú del día, in some places, okay, in many places now, you can get Inglés Gramática Fácil. All right, let's go on over here to our chat room. I see we've got a lot of action going on, which is awesome. Mariona, what's up, Mariona? Mariona, I got to tell you something. There's a song by one of my favorite groups. The group is called Ghost. And there's a song called Mariana Cross. Mariana. And si pronuncias tu nombre en inglés, suena igual. Escúchala, si no lo has oído antes. Mary on a Cross, Maria en una cruz. It's sacrilegious, but the band Ghost is, they're known for that kind of content. So a lot of times when I hear the song, I think of you. Me acuerdo de ti. Mariana Cross, if you choose to run away with me. Excellent song, by the way. And you'll hear your name in it, pronunciado a la americana, evidentemente. Welcome, Mariona. Born to Iron Man in the house. What's up, Born to Iron Man? He says, morning, friends. Open Waters as well says, good morning, friends. Good morning, fellas. Good morning, Mariona. We've got Laura in the house as well. Good morning, Laura. Lovely Italian lesson yesterday, and it's not just me who says it. That is the general consensus. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us. She says, good morning, lovely show with no namers. Let's hit the ground running. There we go. First comment that you make, and you get a totally native. Look at that. To hit the ground running means empezar a tope. No, piensa, naces y ya estás corriendo. O sea, Vas a mil. You're flying. Let's hit the ground running. Empezar a mil. I love it, Laura. Jonah says to brush up on. That's a good one. Yeah, to brush up on is quitarle el polvo, si lo piensas, right? To brush up on. I need to brush up on my Japanese if I'm going to Japan. Okay, not that I speak a lot of Japanese, pero las 5 frases que hay que saber en cualquier sitio. To brush up on. Great, great. I love, Jonas. I love that you're writing them down, que las apuntas, porque además de decirlas en voz alta, si las apuntas, te vas a acordar, right? Mucho más que si no lo apuntas. That's why we take notes and have a notebook, right? Let's see. Mariona says, I'll try to send a message. Do you want me to use Yoda's sentence here? Because I will. There is no try. There's do or do not, right? Hey, not my sentence. Try. You're already admitting when you say the word try. I have eliminated the word try, by the way, from my vocabulary. Because the moment you say, I'll try, hey, Alberto, come to my birthday. I'll try. That means I'm not going. I've already given an excuse, right? I've already left the chance that I'm not going to do it. So I get you. All right, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully you try hard and you're able to send us a message. Again, folks, open waters too. I'll try to send my audio this morning. Guys, I don't want to like inconvenience anybody. You know, I didn't think it was that it required, trying, especially because you have a week. You have porque muchas veces lo digo la semana anterior. So you've got plenty of time to do it, I think. But okay, well, again, if we don't have a lot of participation, we'll definitely discontinue the section because, again, it's based on does the section work or not. And if it's a lot, if I'm asking a lot of you, si estoy pidiendo mucho, hey, I get it. Everybody's busy. I'm the first one who understands that. But no trying in my class, okay? I don't want to see that word ever again. Just think of Yoda next time. Open waters. Oh, good. All right. Well, I've already recorded it, but it's too long. Okay. So you went off a little bit. Te enrollaste un poquito. To go off. Hey, it's my middle name, Open Waters. Enrollarse. My daughter, para que veas, my daughter calls me Chatty Charlie. You know what I call her? Chatty Cathy. Yeah, eso es Charlie Charlatan, right? Chatty Cathy. I call her Chatty Cathy. She calls me Chatty Charlie. And there are times when I'm talking to another parent and she's like, Daddy, te enrollas. Deja de enrollarte. Yesterday, she told me, te enrollas como las persianas, tío. She told me it in Spanish. I was like, you know what I did? I gave her a totally native for that one. So open waters, I get it, believe me. He says, I have to cut down on it. I like that you're trying to use this, but mejor aquí, I have to cut it down. Okay? I have to cut it down because to cut down on something is reducir el consumo de algo, right? If you smoke, you should cut down on smoking. You should eliminate it, but little by little es ir reduciendo. In the summer, people drink more beer, but in the winter, people cut down on beer, right? For example, no? Reducen el consumo. Great phrasal verb. Just got to tweak it a little bit over there. All right, let's see. Have we got some people participating in our sections? That's the question here. Let's see. All right, the first person participating is Open Waters. And Open Water says, by the end of the morning, I assume you mean morning, I will have finished my question of the week audio. Great. Well, Open Waters, the reason I say it too is you've been doing a really good job, man. And I've even noticed, how you've participated maybe 4 or 5 times, and I've noticed progress in those 4 or 5 times. So keep it up. So great. By the end of the morning, te añadimos la N, I will have finished my question of the week audio. Excellent. Great. A little typo, but the structure is correct. The next one, a lot of progress has been made. Hey, I didn't even read your comment, but it's true. A lot of progress has been made by open waters. I think you'll all agree with me there. All right. And the last one, could you tell me what time the movie starts? Open waters, knocking it out of the park. All right. Laura says, by this time next year, I will have been living in this house for 13 years. Yes. I will have been living. Now, this is the future perfect continuous. Same usage. It's the same way as saying I've been living in Madrid since, or I've lived in Madrid since. Same idea there. So great job, Laura, using the future perfect continuous tense. She's like, I'm going to show off a little. Voy a presumir un poco. I love it. And congrats. The next one. The building was built in the 1970s. Excellent. Fue construido. And the last one. Would you be so kind? Oh, get polite, Laura. Would you be so kind as to tell me if there is a pharmacy near here? Wow. We are off to a great start in our pop quiz. But folks, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. There are more people participating, but we'll take a look at those after the break, along with all the other amazing English content up ahead. So stick around. Hey amigos, welcome back. We are in the second half of today's show. I can't believe it. We're looking at some really tough structures today. But you guys, as Laura said, you hit the ground running. Nunca mejor dicho. I couldn't have said it better myself. O como decimos, una forma de decirlo totalmente nativo. You can say that again. Puedes repetir eso. O sea, no puedo estar más de acuerdo, ¿no? Correcto. You can say that again. Y luego la gracia es, really? Should I? No es que quieren que lo repitas, pero amen. You can say that again. We're always learning these little totally native expressions. Why? Well, don't you want to sound like us? I know that's my goal in Spanish, to fit in, right? We looked at that word yesterday in our Italian section. I don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. I don't want to order una ensalada de polla. But hey, se ha pedido en muchos sitios en este país por muchos guiris novatos. Todos han caído, ¿eh? Hasta yo creo. Bueno, I told you, one of my biggest mistakes I always made was estoy caliente. Oh, really? Wow, you're horny. It's true, I'm not lying. But I meant to say I was hot. Que luego también hot en inglés es estoy todo bueno. O sea, la típica broma milenaria es it hot in here? Or is it just me? Y pones cara de guaperas, ¿eh? Is it hot in here? Or is it just me? Duck face, cara de pato, selfie face. All right, amigos, let's rock and roll with today's homophones on the show with no name.
Homophones on the show with no name.
It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. 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 Show with no name. Yes. All right, amigos, here are your homophones. Let's take a look at them. The first word is unir, pero en tercer persona. So, él une, right? Con ese, o sea, la palabra unir con ese. O puede ser vínculos también. I know you actually use this word in Spanish. The question is, do you know how to pronounce it correctly in English? Okay, dale un clic al vínculo, right? I'm sure you're all familiar with that one. Dale clic al vínculo y tal. But you don't say vínculo, you say our word. Pero es un vínculo. Okay, y también lo podemos usar vínculo entre familiares. Pero es el plural o tercera persona, la forma verbal tercera persona que lleva ese en presente. Okay? That is your first word. Your second word is an animal. In fact, that a wild animal that, if I'm not mistaken, there's an Iberian one. Hay uno muy famoso ibérico, and I'm not talking about el cerdo ibérico here. I'm talking about lince. Lince. So no quiero el plural de lince. Quiero lince. La segunda palabra es lince, pero singular. La primera palabra es vínculos plural, ¿ok? Para no liarnos aquí. So, pinché en unos vínculos y vi un lince. Would vínculos and lince sound the same in English? Are you familiar with those words? I know you're familiar with the first one. Are you familiar with the second one? We shall see. Ahora veremos. Also, let me give you today's Say What soundbite. Here it is for the third time. Everybody listen up.
It's hard. A lot of my friends tell me that when they give me a compliment, I just skip over it. I don't know, I've had a hard time to take them in. And I think it's one of the reasons why I felt like I always wanted to stay down on the ground. I never wanted to believe in the hype.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughan Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughan Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovon.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughan Town. That's right, folks. Vaughan Town, as always, one of our star programs. If you want more information about Vaughan Town, masters, summer camps, or any of the initiatives or materials at Vaughan, or you just want a free level test, reach out. Toma phrasal verb. Si no usas esta, hay que usarla. Reach out. Contacta. Dinos algo. Reach out. All right, my amigos, let's go on over to our chat room. I see we still have some comments to read regarding our pop quiz and our Say What soundbite, and also homophones. So we've got a lot of fronts open over here. Let's take a look. Born to Iron Man is participating in our pop quiz. Let's see what he has to say. How many show with no names will be broadcasting by 2030? Well, no, it's not exact. So let me see if I can fix it up for you here. How many show with no names will have been broadcast? Porque broadcast. Hay gente que dice con ed, es uno de esos que puede ser regular o irregular. So how many show with no names will have been broadcast or will have broadcasted or broadcast, sounds weird, by 2030. So it's will have has to be in there. So we're missing the have there. All right. Let's see. The next one. Show with no name is hosted by the one and only Double A. All right. The passive voice is great. And his indirect question, BTW, by the way, por cierto, would you mind telling me where the Madrid Book Fair takes place? Sure, since you asked me correctly. The book fair is at the Retiro Park in Madrid. All right, let's see. Open Waters has got something to say about our Say What soundbite today. Open Waters says, I heard a woman, I'm not sure about her nationality, and she's talking about staying down on the ground when she receives compliments. Very good. Good, huh? Being grounded, ¿te acuerdas? Lo vimos el otro día también, castigado. So to be grounded, to keep her feet, to keep both feet on the ground. Absolutely. And a good way to say this, what comes to mind is she doesn't let the compliments go to her head. ¿Te suena? Se te ha ido a la cabeza, la fama, whatever it is. So she doesn't let her fame, I imagine, go to her head. Right? It would be a very concise way to say it. Great job, Open Waters. Good ear. Well, let's just put it this way. Her and I do not share a nationality. Not at all. Sophia, what's up, Sophia? She says, hiya there. Hiya, Sophia. She says, he will have corrected all the exams by next Wednesday. Great. The future, perfect. Perfect. And then she says, all the exams will have been corrected by next week. Wow, mixing the two. Great. And then she says, could you tell me if I should stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go now? If I stay, there will be trouble. Funny song. Great. Excellent job. I love what you did there, Sophia. All right, Laura. Laura's got something to say about our Say What soundbite as well. And she says, I heard a woman whose accent I can't pinpoint. Oh, that's interesting because two of you have already said, nope. But I thought it was quite clear. I thought it was quite obvious. And I'm no expert at accents. In fact, I always used to get in trouble for saying, oh, you guys are from England. And they were Irish. And they would look at me like, no, dude. No. And I was like, I'm going to get punched one day for saying the wrong nationality here. Just so you know, Irish people do not like being called English, even if it's a mistake. FYI, for your information, you know. So, yeah, it's interesting. Nobody can really pinpoint her accent. She's explaining how she's always tried to be humble and stay down on the ground whenever her friends have given her compliments. Laura, perfect. Let's see. Mariana says, Mariana Cross, I'll do it. Yeah, you're going to hear your name pronunciado a la americana. Mariana Cross. And it's a very catchy song. It's one of those songs where you'll find yourself singing along, whether you like the group Ghost or not. And a very sad thing, I was supposed to go see the group Ghost. It's a rock group, and they paint their faces. It's like a theatrical kind of thing, a theatrical rock group, like Kiss, same kind of deal, it's about the show and the visual spectacle as well. And they called off the concert in Madrid like 2 days before. I was supposed to go with Rob and Andy, and I got a letter from Ticketmaster saying, hey, congratulations, you're not going anywhere. And the worst part, Thank you, Ticketmaster, for being the worst. You're making me not want to go to concerts anymore. Do you know I still got charged the administration fee? I'm like, but what did you do? You took my money, then you gave it back to me, and you never gave me the concert. So why am I paying you for doing something when really you didn't do anything? Incredible. I mean, it's only €1, I think, €1 or €2 per person. But I'm like, wait a second. I didn't receive anything for that euro, except you made me take out my credit card. You made, like, right? Hello? So Ticketmaster, I hope you burn in hell with Google. Okay? Just, hey, aquí es cuando decís, si hacemos una conversación nativa, Alberto, tell us how you really feel. Que no nos ha quedado claro tu opinión. Es totalmente irónico, ¿no? Tell us how you really feel. Como despotrica, por favor, que no nos ha quedado claro. All right, let's see. Chris Valrol, there she is, our movie queen. She says, morning show with no namers. Sorry, I'm late. No worries. She says, I was solving a family matter. I hope it's okay and that you were able to sort everything out. Otra forma de decir resolver is to sort it out. But I see my mates doing a great job as usual. Oh, yeah, you've got to expect the best from them because that's what they are. They're simply the best, better than all the rest. Let's see how they did, though, on our homophones. I know you know the first word, but did you know that second word? Let's see. Open Waters gives us the 2 words and says they are homophones, and they are the correct words. Born to Iron Man as well. Chris Valrol, Laura. So wait a second. All of you are saying that these are homophones? Really? All right, well, let's say them. I'm going to say the sentence I said before. All right. I clicked on some links, and I saw a lynx. I clicked on some links, unos vínculos, and I saw a lynx. Yes. Now the plural, lynxes. Oh, that's a difficult one, right? The plural of lince. And there's an interesting word, by the way. If you play, what is it called? Scrabble, apalabrados. Eso es un palabrón con una Y y una X. Are you kidding me? That's a lot of points. So it's a good word to know if you play that game. Lynx. You're like, where's the vowel? ¿Dónde está el vocal? A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y, right? Well, there you go. There's Y. Just like in the verb or the adjective shy, right? Shy. Don't be so shy. Don't try. Just do. Another one where there's no vowel except that Y that serves as a vowel. And lynx is one of those words. So excellent job. Wow. And Laura got today's Say What soundbite. Great job, Laura, as well. Wow, guys. I mean, you always do a great job, but whoa, what is going on today? I'm loving it. Oh, no, I just used McDonald's slogan. And you want to know something? It's not even correct, grammatically speaking. It's like I'm knowing him. It's not an action verb. You can't put it in the present continuous. But I guess McDonald's does whatever they want. All right, folks, it is time to move on to today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
All right, all aboard for today's Spelling Bee, folks. This one's going to be, well, I think it'll be just as difficult or easy, depending on, on how you see this section, as all the rest of them. This is your average Spelling Bee. In fact, there are no numbers in it, so that's good. I don't see any numbers. I didn't put any numbers today. So these are strictly letters you're going to hear. Hey, it might make it a little bit easier. As always, let's capitalize the first letter of every word And let's begin. The first time, I'm flying. Here we go. The first word is ORVILLE space WRIGHT. The second one is WILBUR space WRIGHT. The third one is WRIGHT space FLYER. The next one is KITTY space HAWK, comma, space NORTH space CAROLINA. And the fifth one is KILL space DEVIL space HILLS. And the last one is DAYTON, comma, space OHIO. ¿Qué tiene que ver la Universidad de Oxford con Vaughan? Pues muchísimo. Es una alegría anunciar que Vaughan ha sido certificado como centro examinador de Oxford Test of English. A partir del próximo mes de marzo 2023, podrás hacer los exámenes de Oxford Test of English en los centros de Vaughan. Si quieres más información sobre esta iniciativa de Vaughan y Oxford, puedes ver más en nuestra página web, grupovaughan.com. O bien síguenos en redes sociales para más información. Oxford Test of English con Vaughan. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. If you live in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza, then you are in luck because you've got a Vaughan Center there just waiting for you to stop by. You can get a free level test. All you have to do is stop by, even if they can't do it at that time, because, usually we schedule them. They'll say, okay, mira, pues la semana que viene te llamamos tal día, and they'll set it up with you, no problem. Again, I think one of the best ways to know a little bit more about what we have, whether we're talking about courses or materials, events as well, special deals, follow us on social media. All right, let's see. It looks like we've got a few people participating here. Do I have to go faster? I just don't know if I'm capable of going faster. All right, let's see. Laura is the first person to take a stab at today's spelling bee. And Laura, the first one is correct. The second one is also correct. The third one is correct. The fourth one is correct. So is the fifth and the sixth. Wow! Whoa! Whoa. Nice job, Laura. Also born to Iron Man, Open Waters, and Chris. Guys, that's as fast as I can go. So congratulations to all of you who got the spelling bee on the first round. I mean, it's really, really remarkable. So great job, amigos. But don't worry if you didn't get it. You've got a second chance, something you don't always get in life, right? But here in the spelling bee, you do get a second chance. The first word is ORVILLE space WRIGHT. The second one, WILBUR space WRIGHT. There's one word that's repeated 3 times, by the way. Number 3, WRIGHT space FLYER. The fourth one is KITTY space HAWK, comma, space North space Carolina. The fifth one is KILL space DEVIL space HILLS. And the last one is DAYTON, comma, space OHIO. All right, there you go, my amigos. Again, remarkable job in round one. And yeah, these words all had to do with the Wright brothers. That's right, los hermanos Wright. And it's because today in the year 1906, in the year 1906, the Wright brothers were granted, concedido, right? Les concedió. They were granted U.S. patent number. ¿Queréis practicar números? Okay, here you go. 821,393 for their flying machine. We call them airplanes now, but the original patent was for a flying machine. And, well, I don't have to tell you how that story ended because, well, many of you, if not all of you, have flown, right? You've taken a plane at some point in your life, I imagine. Right now, especially because you have low cost, it's accessible. Sometimes, well, in the United States, it's a lot cheaper to fly cross country than drive. Well, you got to fill up your car with gasoline, right? Do the math. You got to stay in hotels. You got to start doing the math, and you'll say, oh, wait, wow, it's cheaper to fly across the United States than to drive. Now, Spain, you guys are lucky. You've got a great train system as well as low-cost flights as well. So you got a little bit of everything here. All right, so great job. Again, I am really impressed. Open Water says, guess what? I was in Kitty Hawk in 1991. Oh, man. Open Waters, that is on my bucket list. Going to where it all started. Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. And I'll give you a little joke. This is as old as the hills. Este chiste es antiquísimo, pero por eso hay que saberlo. También es un clásico. So we say in English, 2 wrongs don't make a right. O sea, si alguien te hace algo malo, tú no vas y le haces algo malo, porque entonces no mejora la situación. Lo que viene a decir, 2 wrongs no equivalen, right? They don't make a right. Algo correcto. Okay, so if 2 wrongs don't make a right, what do 2 rights make? The first airplane. All right. You guys are lucky we have to go to a quick commercial break. But we've got more jokes in the fourth and final part of the show. Plus, we've got Double Trouble. We've got Name That Lyric, Name That Movie, and so much more to do. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. We are in the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. Don't forget to stay tuned for much more right after today's show. Tons of great programs here on Vaughn Radio. Learn English for free. What a concept, seriously. I almost feel like people who aren't taking advantage of it are missing out. ¿Cuánta gente me dice, oh man, yo tengo que aprender inglés? I'm like, start today. Download the Vaughn Radio app. You don't even have to sign up for a class. I mean, you're taking a step in the right direction, right? All right, amigos. This is part 4. And as we said, today we're celebrating the patent. It wasn't the first time they flew, but they were granted U.S. patent number, and born to Iron Man, you got the number. 821,393. 821,393. The words in the spelling bee were Orville Wright, Wilbur Wright. Those are the brothers. The Wright Flyer, that's the name of it. Imagine if it was called the Wrong Flyer. Kitty Hawk, North Carolina is where it took place, that first flight. And the name for the place before that, it was called Kill Devil Hills. It's a good name for a place. Sounds pretty scary, huh? And the last one was Dayton, Ohio. Okay, Dayton, not to be confused with Daytona in Florida. You got Daytona, Florida, and Dayton. Fijaos, no es ton, ahí es tin. Dayton, Ohio, and that's where the brothers were born. Excellent job in our spelling bee. Well, in all the sections today. Let's see how you fare in today's Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. It is your Double Trouble section, and I think this one's going to be relatively easy. So everybody, take a stab at it. Even if you're not here live, see if you can figure it out. Si lo puedes averiguar. Here we go. El hombre que está andando por aquí, el hombre que anda por aquí con la bragueta abierta va a pilotar el avión. I used to say pilotear. Yeah, bueno, you live and learn, right? But I mean, pilotear. My wife was like, no, it's pilota. I'm like, okay. I added an extra syllable in there. So, el hombre que anda por aquí con la bragueta abierta va a pilotar el avión. Hey, we were just talking about a flying machine. I think this is apropos. Appropriate. All right, so el hombre que anda por aquí con la bragueta abierta va a pilotar el avión. You have to use the same word twice in today's Double Trouble. And while you guys are thinking that through, let me give you the Say What soundbite. This is the 4th listen. Laura already got it. Let's see if anybody else can join her.
It's hard. A lot of my friends tell me that when they give me a compliment, I just skip over it. I don't know, I have a hard time to take them in. And I think it's one of the reasons why I felt like I always wanted to stay down on the ground. I never wanted to believe in the hype.
¿Qué tal vas de ánimo? ¿Necesitas un empujón? ¿Un poco de aliento? No sweat. No te preocupes. Pásate por vaughantienda.com y hazte con nuestro nuevo material multimedia. 365 días de wellness e inglés. Y viene de la mano de tu propio personal trainer profesional, David Gómez Agudo, conocido por sus miles de seguidores en las redes como Fitbull Coach. Trabajarás fitness, mindset, nutrición y por supuesto el inglés. Y viene con más de 250 vídeos para que entrenes junto con tu coach. Es un win-win. Haz que este año sea tu año, con 365 días de wellness e inglés.
That's right, amigos. You got it. It is one of our coolest materials, one of our latest, no, lo último, wellness. 365 días de wellness en inglés. And don't quote me. Don't quote me because I'm not 100% sure. But normally, there's a 10% discount on our materials at the book fair. Plus, you get the signature, the selfie, and all that jazz. So if you're thinking about getting any books, just wait another week or so. And it's book fair time. Again, don't quote me if they tell you, no, este año no hay descuento. Don't say, Alberto dijo que sí. Alberto dijo que suele haber. So just want to make sure we're getting our facts straight here. All right, let's check out over here. We've got some people participating in our double trouble. Laura says, the man who's walking here with his fly open is going to fly the airplane. Yes. Chris, the man walking around, así es como lo tengo yo con el around, paseando por aquí. The man walking around here with his fly open is going to fly the plane. Laura and Chris. Also born to Iron Man, los tres. Wait, do I hear the Holy Trinity? Hallelujah. Woo. Amen. Great job. Wow. So the man who's walking around here with his fly open. Si os acordáis, los Levis, we looked at jeans yesterday. Funny. Levi's, they have the button fly. ¿No te acuerdas? Button fly, zip fly. Well, fly es mosca también. Fly es volar. But also your fly is your bragueta. Okay? And all you have to do is watch Back to the Future. Hey, McFly, you fly. He tells him, your fly's down. Your fly's open. I don't remember the exact line. Your fly's open, McFly. And then he looks, and it's not true. It's made you look. So, hey, it's a good way to remember it. Biff was always teasing McFly about his fly. Tienes que ver la película ahora en su versión original y it'll all click. It'll all make sense. So great job. Yes. And remember with fly, it's an irregular verb. Every day I fly. Yesterday I flew. And lately I've flown. And another mistake I find often is people mix up fly and flight, right? Tomorrow I have a fly. Tienes una mosca mañana. No, a flight. So just remember, sustantivo, flight. Have a nice flight. Have a nice flight. Que tengas buen vuelo. All right. Speaking of, Candela, my niece, is actually flying to the United States right now as we speak. And I said that exact sentence this morning. So it's funny. Have a nice flight. All right. Excellent job, Show with No Namers. You knocked it out of the park in today's Double Trouble. But now it's time to go to a place where, well, we learn all these expressions, vocabulary words. In fact, speaking of Back to the Future, you know, that's where I learned the word gullible. And I mean, I kind of figured it out. I'd never heard the adjective gullible. And that's what Biff says to McFly. He says, don't be so gullible, McFly. Now, I did not know the word gullible. It wasn't in my 5-year-old or 7-year-old vocabulary yet. Okay. But the context was he's tricking him, right? He's making fun of him. He's making him look. He's, teasing him, vacilándole. And so the context says everything. Of course, I confirmed it with my mom when we left. I said, Mom, what is that? What is gullible? That Biff always says to McFly, you're so gullible, McFly. Because does it mean he believes everything that he's told? And she said, yeah, exactly. I just confirmed it. So how funny is that it's a word that I've been using since then, but I remember exactly where I learned it. And it was in a movie. So who said you can't learn from movies, right? I mean, just from the titles, as we've seen many times. All right. Here we go, folks. Here is your synopsis of today's movie. We'll see if you recognize it. In a city of anthropomorphic animals, that means with human qualities, right? In a city of anthropomorphic animals, a rookie bunny cop, un policía rookie novato, bunny, conejo, and a cynical con artist fox must work together to uncover a conspiracy. Una conspiración. So, in a city of anthropomorphic animals, a rookie bunny cop and a cynical, ¿te suena? Cínico? We say cynical. So if we use it as an adjective, don't be so cynical. Y si lo usamos como sustantivo, he's a cynic. He's a cynic. He's always cynical. And a con artist es un timador. A con es un team. Un timo, not a team. A veces no sé en qué idioma estoy hablando. So a cynical con artist fox, zorro, makes sense that the fox is the con artist, right? Because he's sly. You say the same thing, right? He's sly like a fox. Well, they must work together, team up, hacer equipo, ¿no? To uncover a conspiracy. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your movie queen, Chris Valrol. It's Zootopia. Obviously, it's a mix between the words zoo. We write it the same. You say tho, we say zoo. And if you say utopia, zootopia, there you go, folks. So let's take a look at this scene over here. And interesting thing, a really interesting thing over here. Now, this happens a lot in movies and in series. The film was originally supposed to revolve around Nick Wilde, the character Nick Wilde. And when they tested it in front of audiences, they realized people were not connecting with this character at all. And they were connecting a lot more with Judy Hopps, the rookie bunny cop. So they altered the story. Cambiando, pues nuestro protagonista está claro, es ella, no él. So that's interesting. That has happened. It happened on The Simpsons. It was supposed to be Bart, and Bart was very popular, but who's the real popular one on The Simpsons? Oh, who's got his own cat? I mean, Homer, right? He became the star. It happened, speaking of Michael J. Fox, everything's coming back to the Future here today. Michael J. Fox was on the show Family Ties. It was supposed to be about the parents raising kids, and he stole the show. And they said, well, this show is not about the parents. It's about him. And it revolves around him. And that's a smart decision. I've got to say, a lot of people are unwilling to budge, moverse, negociar. But when people speak, you got to listen, especially if you're doing it for that reason. I mean, why did they use test audiences to see if what they imagined the reactions would be or wouldn't be are true, right? And I remember when I lived in Los Angeles, you could make a living just doing these research things. Tienes que ver esto y decirnos lo que piensas. Well, these focus groups, I used to go all the time. They were like $100 y es una hora, and I'm like, okay, cool. Let's go watch a cartoon and give them my opinion over at MTV. It's true. In New York and in Los Angeles, it's a fun way to, make a little extra money. And if you like, checking out content, it's actually pretty cool. All right, so Judy Hopps, you get her name, right? Hop, a bunny Hopps. Judy Hopps says, when I was a kid, I thought Zootopia was this perfect place where everyone got along. To get along es llevarse bien. Los británicos dicen get on. So it was a place where everyone got along and anyone could be anything. Turns out, resulta, hay que saber esta. It turns out real life's a little bit more complicated than a slogan on a bumper sticker. Cuidado, la palabra slogan en inglés no lleva una E delante como en español. Slogan. And a bumper sticker es muy americano. Estas pegatinas que se pone en el bumper del coche. Que aquí, menos mal, thank God you guys have taste here because you don't see them in Spain. That's you might see one with the indalo, or maybe the flag of Asturias. Fine. But you don't see my kid is, vote Trump, whatever. I'm not interested in knowing, it's not a billboard, it's your car. And if you want it to not lose more value than it's already losing, don't put stickers all over it. I mean, you'd think it was an obvious thing, but no. So it turns out real life's a little bit more complicated than a slogan on a bumper sticker. Real life is messy. We looked at that word yesterday, desordenado. We all have limitations. We all make mistakes, which means, hey, glass half full Right? We say the glass is half full or half empty if you're an optimist or a pessimist. He says, we all have a lot in common. No, si lo miras por lo positivo, we have a lot in common. And the more we try to understand one another, uno al otro, the more exceptional each of us will be. But we have to try. Ooh, there's that word try again. So no matter what kind of animal you are, from the biggest elephant, to our first fox, and then Nick pulls down his shades. Now, shades are persianas, but also shades, gafas. Okay? He pulls down his shades and winks at Judy. Le guiña el ojo. And he says, and Judy says, I implore you, okay, to implore, to beg, rogar, I implore you, try to make the world a better place. Look inside yourself and recognize that change starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with all of us. And this is what we call a pep talk or a motivational speech. Mucho más fácil, pep talk. Tiene dos sílabas. All right, my amigos, that was our movie. It's time for You're Joking.
Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
All right, folks, let's see if you get these jokes. And today they have to do with models, modelos. I wonder why. There's a reason. Have you figured it out yet? All right, we're getting there. Ahí vamos. Let's take a look at the first joke. Why did the model, no model, no, model. Why did the model bring lipstick and eyeshadow to school? Eyeshadow, lo que se pone en los ojos. Lipstick, pintalabios. Well, they told her that she had a makeup exam. Oh, no. A makeup exam, un examen de maquillaje o un examen de recuperación. Right? If we have to call off the class, we'll make it up next week. We'll have a makeup class. Ahí no quiero decir de maquillaje, quiero decir de recuperación. So why did the model bring lipstick and eyeshadow to school? Because they told her that she had a makeup class. It's a good one. All right, here's the next one. Why did the model stare at the orange juice can for a long time? To stare, fijar la mirada. Why did the model stare at the orange juice can for a long time? Because it said concentrate. No. Well, concentrate, concéntrate, right? Focus, concentrate. But also concentrate, it's a substance that doesn't have a lot of water in it. They reduce the water and they concentrate. And a lot of times in the United States, the orange juice that they sell is from concentrate. It says on the thing, concentrate. Significa que tienes que añadir agua. Why was she staring at it? It said concentrate. All right. Last one, ladies and gentlemen. How do you recognize a model from a mile away? ¿Cómo reconoces un modelo o una modelo desde una milla, desde unos kilómetros? Easy. From their catwalk. From their catwalk, su forma de andar como gato, su pasarela, su andar de gato, su pasarela, a catwalk or a runway, se usa en la aviación también, el runway puede ser un double trouble. Bueno, si lo piensas, es la pista donde los aviones van o la pista donde se despliegan los modelos, same idea. Okay. Now, the one that's, we don't say catwalk in airports, though. Solo es runway la que vale para los dos. I'm a model, you know what I mean, and I do my little turn on the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk. I'm too sexy for Milan. All right, folks, it's time to move on to famous birthday trivia. Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. All right, here we go, folks. Our first birthday boy was born today in 1959. He's known by his last name. He's that legendary that they just call him by his last name. His first name is Stephen Patrick, but no one calls him that. And you might know him from his solo career, which he goes by his last name, and from being the singer of the Smiths. Oh, big mouth, la 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 la. The Smiths, I mean, one of the most amazing groups ever. And this guy, I mean, we could go over his whole career and spend 2 hours just looking at his life and times. That's number one. Number two, this actress was born today in 1978. She played Judy Hopps in Zootopia. She voiced Judy Hopps in Zootopia. She was also in Once Upon a Time, Why Women Kill, Mona Lisa Smile, and many, many more movies. Killing Kennedy, and so much more. That's number two. Number three, this British fashion model was one of the 6 models that was first called a supermodel, right? So before then, models were just called models. Then you got the big 6. And she was one of them. And then we came with the word supermodel. She's from England and quite lovely, I must say. All right, let me give them to you, because if not, we are going to run out of time. Number one, Stephen Patrick Morrissey. That's right. The artist Morrissey. Number two, Jennifer, not Jennifer, Jennifer, it's a weird spelling, Goodwin. And number three, Naomi Campbell, model Naomi Campbell. Great job, Chris. And that's going to bring us to our Say What soundbite. This is Naomi Campbell talking about not letting being a supermodel, a beautiful, gorgeous being, un ser precioso, get to her head or go to her head. And she says, it's hard. It's hard. It's difícil. A lot of my friends telling me, you know, when they give me a compliment, I just skip over it. Lo salto. I don't know. I have a hard time to take them in. Okay? Asumirlos. And one of the reasons, what I felt like, I always wanted to stay down on the ground. Siempre quería estar en la tierra. I always wanted to stay down on the ground, or más fácil, I always wanted to be grounded or stay grounded. I never wanted to believe in the hype. All right. In America, in my country, we would say it without in. I never wanted to believe the hype. No quería creerme todo el ruido alrededor. So here she is, down to earth. Otra forma de decir pies en la tierra, Naomi Campbell.
It's hard. A lot of my friends tell me that when they give me a compliment, I just skip over it. I don't know. I've had a hard time to take them in. And I think it's one of the reasons why I felt like I always wanted to stay down on the ground. I never wanted to believe in the hype.
Great job, folks. That applause is for you. And we're going to say goodbye with an awesome song by the Smiths, by Morrissey, our birthday boy. How Soon Is Now? Awesome. It starts out, I am the sun and the air, el heredero. Hey, we can learn a lot from Morrissey. Thank you so much, everybody. Here it is. How Soon Is Now? We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. Sing it if you know it. I am human and I need to be loved just like everybody else does. I am the sun. I am the air. All the shyness that is criminal.